that I find inspiring and that really motivate us in the Milwaukee community. And you might see a familiar face right now, Tony Atkins. And Tony is a reporter, an award winning reporter here at TMJ4, who has found an opportunity that he could not pass up. Tony, thank you for joining me, first of all. We're definitely going to miss you. How are you feeling right now?
Well, it's kind of surreal because right over your shoulder, over your right shoulder, is my desk. So, it's just kind of surreal being on the other end of things. But it feels good to be able to come home and report in my hometown. It was a great experience.
And you're from the North Side, and you've been here most of your life. You were raised here, and I think one of the exciting things about you, Tony, is you are a success story. And sometimes we don't hear enough success stories from our area, or from Milwaukee, or the North Side. Can you tell me why that's important to you, and that's been important to you throughout your broadcast career?
Well, I think it's gotten more important as time went on. Growing up in the city, I remember I was a writer. My first internship was here at TMJ, or my second internship was, but the first one where I finally decided broadcast was what I wanted to do. And I remember just how, I guess, coming up on the north side of Milwaukee, I never really thought like, wow, like I would be one of the people on TV in the future. And then when I went on my journey, I left Milwaukee. I went to Austin, Pittsburgh, and Memphis. Then I came back home, and I think along that journey is where I really learned what this was all about, and it was sharing other people's stories. So like to be able to come back to my hometown and like share these stories and amplify people's voices and really make them heard and understood. And I got a lot of feedback about like, thank you for like telling this, because every story, it wasn't a fluff piece, but there were like very tough stories that needed to be told and tough questions that needed to be asked. But I think, a lot of people really appreciated just like the nuance that it takes with covering a community like Milwaukee, just having that background institutional knowledge of how the city works. And I think I credit this a lot in Memphis, just the humility. Like Memphis is also a city that, deals with like a lot of issues and like a lot of people without money and things like that. But it really is like a humbling experience to like meet people where they are. And I feel like that's just something that is not just applicable to being in Milwaukee, but like across the world. If you do journalism, it's just meeting people where they are. And that's how you tell the best stories, and that's why it matters to me to do it here.
Yeah, it's really, and a lot of people don't realize that it's all about the humanity, and there's so much
Mhm.
that is important about telling our stories. Now, are you a little anxious about leaving Milwaukee? Because I know you love your hometown, and you have a lot of friends and a lot of fans here.
Yeah, no, I'm a little anxious, but I'm excited. Like I'm not really nervous. I think I've done the move quite a few times. I don't, you never really know when it's coming or really anticipate it or expect it. You just kind of know when it's time or if you got a good opportunity that you can't pass up. For those who don't know, I got a job at the NBC station in Orlando, so it's our sister station down in Florida. But yeah, it's always a little anxiety. But I actually drove down to Florida last week after finishing work, and then I had to fly right back. But I've never really been to Florida too often, and I just remember driving from Georgia into Florida. Like it actually is what it said is. It's just all sunshine, and I just remember like saying, "This is going to be good." It's anxiety because it's unknown, but I feel very comfortable making this move.
Yes, and those of us in TV business, and if you're just joining us, I'm talking to Tony Atkins, who we're having to say goodbye to him. He is a reporter here at the station, but he's going on to one of our sister stations in Orlando, Florida. So we're very happy for him. And if you have a question for Tony, by the way, feel free to enter it in our chat. We'd be happy to have Tony answer a question for you. And I think one of the things, Tony, I was going to say, we know about being nomads in this business. I mean, we have to pack up and leave, and I did it several times my entire life. And I always found it exhilarating in a way because you're starting over and there's new opportunities and it's like a whole new life.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, and that's I think I went that one day I spent in Orlando. I just remember like kind of smirking because I'm like, wow, like I get to start fresh. I love my hometown. Like I don't think that's disputed. Like I love being here. But I am excited about just some, a fresh start. Great, another great city, great news market. Florida has its moments as well. So there's never like a lack of things to cover or do there. I'm sure there will be great stories to be told down there. So yeah, like I will miss Milwaukee. I will say that for sure.
What do you think you're going to miss most? If you're to say one or two top things, what would you say, Tony?
That's a good question. I never thought about that. Like, first of all, I would just say my family. I have a lot of
Obvious.
family and friends. That's the obvious one, so I won't even count that. I think one thing I will miss
Oh, I hope our signal is not dying.
about Milwaukee is, oh no, can you hear me?
Your signal froze up a little bit, but go now. It seems like it's better.
You can
Okay.
hear me?
Yes. Now go ahead.
Oh, didn't it? Okay, I'm on my mom's Wi-Fi. All right, yeah. I think two things I will miss. It's just like the character of the people from the city, the Midwestern values, the lifestyle. It's just like the most relatable thing. Like I am home. You know what I mean? I know I understand the people here, no matter if this the inner city or McGuanago or anywhere in our region in the Midwest. I am one of I'm us, and I'll miss knowing the people here and how they operate and what just I just know the Midwest. So that's one thing I will miss. And another thing I think Milwaukee doesn't get enough credit for is like the green space. Like Milwaukee is a
Absolutely.
beautiful green city. Yeah, like not to I'm not lobbying at all, but like we have beautiful parks, we have beautiful just the trees, the lake. I don't think enough people realize. Like I've lived enough places to come back home and be like, wow, this is really cool. I've lived in very inland places that didn't have a lake. And when I moved here, I actually lived on the lake. So that was really cool. But yeah, I don't know, it made me appreciate just the natural beauty of Wisconsin and what we have. Fresh water, right? Like I
It's
think
a
of
whole yes. It's something that we take for granted, but if you move, like you say, inland in a city that does not have that access, it's a whole different vibe. It really
exactly.
is.
So I think
So
those
what
are
you
just
yeah,
I'm
no,
sorry.
those are just a few things. I know. No, sorry about that. We got a little bit of a delay. But Tony, we're going to miss you so much, and I know that you have covered so many great stories. Is there one that you remember the most over the past few years you've been here that you're really proud of that you can share with us, Tony?
I remember I think I like for me I like investigative stories and stories that really just make an impact in people's lives. I mean, I have countless stories that I've made like these strong connections with people on while covering. I remember just one piece I did was about a company that purchased a property that wanted to do renovations on that property and then evict the tenants. And it was like dozens of families that would have not had their houses. And they called us and they were like, "Hey, they're kicking us out of our house. Like, is there something we can do?" And instead of just ignoring it as a tenant landlord story that can get really messy, I dug on it, and the evictions would have been illegal because after purchasing the property, they had to honor the lease that was signed with the previous owner.
Yes.
You inherit all of those assets, and I did that story, and the company backed off, and those people got to stay where they live while the renovations were done. So that's just one example, but I just think of like there's been so many stories. I think of just recent stories like there was a trailer that caught fire in West Dallas with there was a kid who was in the hospital. His name was MJ, and he's out. He's their family safe after surviving this trailer fire. There are just so many. Like I go through like some of my clips, and I can't even point out one.
Yeah, but you feel good that if you can do what little part you can as a reporter and
Mhm.
as a news person in elevating or helping humanity or people in some sort of a way, in a small way, it does. Nothing feels better, really. and that's
Yeah,
something that you're very good at, Tony. You're very
thank
good
you.
at relating to people, so we're very blessed to have you, and Orlando's very lucky to be about to have you. So
Yeah.
are you just exhausted? Because I know you've been moving,
Yeah, no, I'm
transfer
tired.
twice.
You guys don't see the bags. Like I gotta
I
be
can
back.
tell.
I gotta be back at TMJ tomorrow, right at that
Okay.
desk over there. But no, I'm not like I'm kind of running off of adrenaline. Like I'm survived by
Mhm.
love. Like the city, I feel loves me so much. So like it's just a lot of meeting, a lot of coffee, lunches, just seeing everybody. I just want to make sure I'm maximizing the time. Right now I'm at my parents' house, which is why the Wi-Fi
Oh, well,
is
that's
not
nice.
good.
I'm sure they're going to miss you, but I'm glad that you took time for me because I was worried. I knew you were very busy in between the move, and
Yeah,
you're not totally done yet, but
no, not yet.
we're so happy for you though, Tony.
Yeah.
And I see all the social media love that you get, so
Mhm.
it's a blessing, and that's something that uh, that's a testament to you as a human being, and
Yeah,
we're
and
blessed to have like you.
of course I'll make time for Carol. I mean, come on.
Well, I always tell you, I told you, I never do lunches with, regular eating down, sitting out lunches because I just really don't have time. And I feel like I'm so busy that I don't really ever go to lunch
Yeah,
unless like the boss says you're going to lunch.
right.
So, but I just don't. But it's always good to talk to you, Tony. And you know what? I'm so happy for you and your opportunity. And we're going to miss you, but we're excited that you're going on to something that is important to you, and you're still staying with our sister station. So,
Yeah, I'll be at the NBC affiliate, so I'll be
so
down
it's
there.
a win-win for everybody. Well, Tony Atkins, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon for lunch with Carole, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow in person.
All right, I'll see you then.
Okay. And
Have a good
thank you, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you every other week right here for Lunch with Carole. Have a